Hello everyone. Good morning. Can you hear me? Good morning everyone. Can you hear me? Please, if you can hear me, I want you to say hi. Oh, great. RMD, good to have you around. So, I guess we can start. All right. So, we want to be looking into what we did yesterday first. Let's review the analysis we made yesterday. And the first pair we want to be looking at is the GBP card. Did anyone take this trade yesterday? So right now, prices currently we are actually profitable on GBP CAD as we are running almost we have three positions running on this one, 170 pips, 290, and over 350 pips in profit on this one. And I made mention yesterday that this level will be a level where if I see rejections of this level, I will close my trade. And I actually did that before I came online. And if you are still in the trade, I think it's advisable we close now and let's see how price is going to play out. Probably we are going to have a retest into probably around this area, or we are going back into this trend line before we see price going to the downside one more time. So, but for the meantime, I'll suggest we close this trade and let's see how price will play out in the next couple of hours. Then we now make a decision on that. Now on GBPAUD, um, we actually closed with some profits as price went back into our entry point. We didn't actually get to TP targets, and we saw price go back into our entry point. So what we are seeing right now on the chart is that price is right back at that entry area after doing all this consolidation. Then price is back. Then we want to look for structures that will support a trend continuation to the downside, a breakout of structure, a retest into structure, then confirmation that we might be going on a second wave. So let's see what happens. Probably before the session ends, we might have a setup that is mature enough for us to join the decline if it's going to happen, and that's on the GPP AUD. Now, we want to talk on Euro AUD as well. I think we had a position on Euro AUD, and what we see here yesterday, this is where our position was yesterday, and price we actually had a break even at this point. Then we were actually looking for another re-entry, but price went to the upside from this area after this consolidation phase happened. Price went to the upside, as you can see what happened here, And when it got to this area, I saw a reversal pattern on lower time frame, so I decided to jump in around this point. So we had an entry at 1.52155 and 1.51915, which are both executed at this point, and we are running it about a total of let's see, around we have 50 and 20, so that's around 80 pips profit right now, though these positions here are still going to be are still valid, still running, so I'm still expecting price to slice through all this, and we go down to our profit target at 1.48520. So this one is still going as planned, though we had new setups, we had new entry points at this point. So that's that on Euro AUD. Then on EUROCAD, what do we have on EUROCAD? Yes, on EUROCAD we had two positions running on EUROCAD from yesterday's analysis. And remember, I said I was already in this trade. We were talking about this. We were talking about this pair right around this area, and I was telling you that I'm already profitable on this one with these two entries running. And I said the only way you can actually join me on this one is let's wait for a retest of that trend line, which we saw happened. And I made mention that we should wait for that trend line to be rejected before we push to the downside, and that happened immediately, I think a couple of hours after our session yesterday, and we saw price move down, then came back into that key level, then price went back down. So I have two positions running on this one as well. Who is in this one with me? Hello, is anyone in this trade with me? EuroCAD. Okay, so we have these positions running, and we have a total of, let me see, we have one is 80 pips and the other one is around 70 pips, so we are in total of 150 pips on the EuroCAD. And at this point you might want to close the trade at this point, and the reason why I'm saying that is just, if we'll go left, especially if we go to a higher time frame, for instance, we are right at the neckline of that reversal pattern we identified earlier, and we are right within that buy opportunity zone we are looking forward to, where we want to see a rejection of this trend line. We look for reversal pattern, breakout of structure, a retest into structure, and we look for trend continuation to the upside for the EuroCAD. Remember, our trade on the EuroCAD yesterday is only a counter trend opportunity, and we're still expecting price to be going to the upside on this one. And if we pull out our line chart at this juncture on the market, we can see that we have a trend line already evolving behind the scenes that we can actually walk around with to push our bullish buyers from those points in the market. So now that we have around 150 pips in profit on the EuroCAD, I think it's advisable that we close this trade at this point, and then we start looking for reversal structures to play around with to join the potential rally to the upside. So I hope you understand what I'm trying to say here, and you feel I hope I make some sense. So like I said, to recap again, we are right on the trend, we are right on the neckline of the reversal pattern we identified here on the daily time frame, and on the 4 hours time frame and daily time frame, and we are also right within that buy opportunity zone we identified a couple of days ago. So let me label this buy opportunity. So we have a buy opportunity here, so let's put it right inside and the center. Okay, so this is a buy opportunity here, and I said we'll be looking forward to a reversal structure that supports a trend continuation to the downs to the upside, a signal in the form of a breakout of structure, a retest, a confirmation, sending price going to the upside on this one. So if you're not too greedy, you might want to opt out of this trade now, and let's see how price is going to play out in the next couple of hours. So that's that on EUROCAD. We talked about Euro, okay, Euro AUD. We talked about Euro AUD. We talked about GBP AUD. We talked about GBP CAD. We reviewed that also. And on XAU USD, I am also having another bias on XAU USD. I think I'm having a short-term bias on XAU USD, and it's bearish. And the reason why this is simply because if we notice what has been happening since the beginning of the month, we saw that price has been respecting this bearish trend line, and 2 days ago we were able to scoop in this profit on this one. We made about I think about 1,800 pips on this one, and right now price appears to be doing a retracement into the golden zone area of this impulse leg at this point. And you can see as price got into this area, we saw multiple rejection aligning, lining up right around that golden zone area, and we saw a little breakdown of this, a retest of that neckline, and we might be looking for price going to the downside on this one. So with that being said, I placed like three pending orders around this area, one at 1851.562, and the other one on 1851.045, and the other one at 1849.90910. All of them have been triggered right now, and I've moved my stop to somewhere close around here because it might be a little volatile in the next couple of hours. And that's that. I have a tape of that at 1825, and like I said, because of the long-term bullish expectation on this one, once price get to 1835, you want to be and you see, and we experience multiple rejection of this area, we might want to close our trade at this point. So that's that on the gold. And then moving on to the GBPUSD. GBPUSD was not really good for us, as in we saw price break down that trend line. The trend line was supposed to be our guide going into the new week was broken to the downside. This trend line was broken, and we price closed that break even on that one. And if you see what happened here, price went up. We were here yesterday, profitable. Then it broke even. Then again it went up again, and when price broke this trend line, that was a signal for me that things are not quite going that bullish anymore. So I had to reanalyze and open a sell stop order right below that trend line. And fortunately, we were able to take around 110 pips on this one yesterday. And right now, let's see what's happening. Let's see what's happening on the GBP USD. Let's see what we can do on this one. So if we go to the daily time frame and let's see what structure is giving us, we have definitely it's glaring that we are on a bearish momentum for some time now, and I want to connect the lower lows and see how price has been doing since the later aspect of last year. And so we have something like this. Price has been rejecting this bearish trend line, and then we saw this move, then the sudden breakdown during last days of the last month, and then we saw a rejection of that trend line. Price appears to be going further down. So definitely, if you want to trade this, we want to be looking for opportunities to sell the pound against the dollar. So if we scale down to a much lower time frame, what do we see on the lower time frame? The first thing we'll notice is that we had a breakdown of structure around here. uh, we had a breakdown of structure around here, and there is another one around this area, which I'm going to be calling our new key level area. I think is it 229 or 22? Okay, 2.3. Let's use 2.3. It's more psychological than the rest. So if we label this key level at 1.23, let's place it right at the top. of this. And okay, let's place at the bottom so that we have it's clear enough. So at 1.23 we have that key level to work with at this point. So like I said, if we want to be trading this, we want to be looking for selling opportunities. And if we look closely into what structure has been giving us since the 5th of May, after that breakdown that happened around here, we saw multiple rejection of 1.24 area, making that area also a solid supply level. We can see that here. So I want to give that a light yellow, a light red rather, to signify the so allow me to label this for clarity's sake. We have a supply zone right inside that area, and then okay, I think let's make it like this. So that area is our supply zone. As we can see, multiple rejection of that area since the breakdown of that trend line. We saw 1, 2, 3, 4 before this impulse leg that broke through that key level during the course of yesterday's trading session. So now that we have that, now we have an impulse leg that we can work with at this point. And then if we bring out our retracement tool at this point and we run it through that impulse leg, though we are not sure when this impulse leg is going to end. Definitely we are not sure when it's going to end. It will only end when we see structures that looks more like this. Let me see something like this, or reversal pattern, a rising wedge, whatever it is, a flag pattern, a breakout of structure, then we can say that's that this impulse leg has actually culminated. Then we can now measure our golden zone, which is always between 50 to 78.6% retracement, to look for a new selling opportunity on the GBPUSD. So if we run our retracement tool, like I said, I don't know where this is going to end, but right now it appears it's around this area. But in the future, we might still have a situation where price will still do some price going below that level before we now see that retracement wave happening. So but because of for the sake of this video, let's assume this is the end of the impulse leg, then we will be looking for a sell opportunity around the 78.6% and the 50% retracement of that impulse leg, where that place will now be our new supply level that we will be looking for opportunity to sell the GBP against the USD. So that means we'll be looking for, based on this structure, like I said, we don't know when the impulse leg will end because we haven't seen structure that supports the combination of that impulse leg. But for the sake of this video, we have something around here, and then we'll be looking for structures that will support, then probably a breakdown of that key level one more time, a retest of that key level will send price crashing down to the downside, and then we can be extending our this impulse leg as our new take profit target in such a way that we can use our what was it called? We use our extension tool to actually have an accurate figure where we will be looking at a minimum of 1272.2% extension of this impulse leg, which might fall around this area based on this impulse leg that we identified, which we've not yet confirmed, but we just have to do that because of the nature, because of the sake of this video. So we might be having a profit target around that area in the next, we don't know, probably before the week runs out, or probably next week. So we have a profit target around that area that we'll be looking forward to at this point. So like I said, it's only advisable that we look out for selling opportunities at this point. And there's one more thing that just came to my mind. There is a possibility that price might even come back to the supply zone at this point. Then we look for reversal setup that will align in favor of a downtrend continuation. So this is one way we can look at the pounds against the dollar going into the new trading day. So let's that's that on the GBP USD. So moving on, let's move on to okay, UK oil yesterday. Yes, we are on UK oil right now. I don't know if Khan is around. Khan is always keen with the UK oil thing. So here we are on the UK oil. This is what we have here at the moment. Remember yesterday, let me go down to I think 45 minutes or 1 hour time frame and let's see. Remember I said yesterday that to sell the UK oil, we will be looking for signal in the form of a breakdown of this bullish trend line, the one that's highlighted in red, and that is we'll be looking forward to a breakout of a breakdown of that key level which actually happened and then didn't go through. We saw a breakdown, then a retest of structure which will be our confirmation, but the retest did not happen as price broke above that trend line to give us probably what looks more like a bullish continuation, but price broke down that structure one more time and came down into this area. So definitely we wouldn't have taken the sell opportunity, so I'll have to delete that right now. So deleting that. So what do we have here? So I said something about the bullish momentum on this one, and I said that we will be looking forward to a breakout of that structure. Remember we said first of all we saw this what's it called, this bearish trend line. We saw this breakout that happened yesterday. We saw it yesterday and we were saying we still need more confirmation to guide us into probably a second wave of bullish momentum. However, we were waiting for structures in the form of a breakout of this key level, a retest into this key level with structures that support a trend continuation to the upside, breakout of structure, a retest into structure confirmation into the upside. So that is what our perspective was, just to remind you what we were expecting on the UK oil. Now we have a scenario where price has actually broken out of that key level, as we can see what happened here, and we saw a retest into that key level, but price went even further down into that key level. So at this point in time we want to be looking for structures that will support a bullish momentum, and we need to look at this on a lower time frame to actually see what is happening at this point. We want to be seeing a signal that is a breakout of that structure, a retest into that structure, then we can now join the potential rally if it's going to happen. So now we scale down to a much lower time frame, let's say the 15 minutes time frame, and let's see what structure is giving us around this key level. So around this key level we have a structure that looks more like this. We have this one, we have something like this. So we have this, then we have this, the rejection of 104.6, which was very sharp. Price came back up, then it came back down again, but it didn't get as far as the previous low. So hereby giving us something that looks more like a reversal pattern in the form of a what's it called, a double bottom structure. However, we still need a significant breakout of the structure, and this breakout is not yet significant enough. So it's still well, we can still call it a signal, but we still need to look for structures that support a trend continuation to the upside from this area. So for me, it's advisable at this point that we look for entry opportunities right above that key level, and that's going to be around this area. So let's place our the other proposed order price at 106.24 at this point, and then let's see what happens as day goes by. And if we look closely into what's happening, I don't need this anymore, so let's delete this. We have a bearish trend line right here on the 15 minutes time frame that we can also use as a guide going forward. And if we draw the trend line across, we can see we have a structure that looks more like that. Then we want to be seeing a breakout of that trend line, giving us a sign that the trend line is not strong enough or is not capable enough to hold the buyers anymore. So we want to see that a retest, then we can join based on any structure that supports a bullish trend continuation to the upside. So for me at this point, it is safe that if you want to buy the UKOil, we want to buy right above the skill level at 106 area, and then we have our stop loss right up below the previous low at around 104.49 area. And remember, this is still our demand zone that has a memory for buying power as far back as how far, let's see how far that is, as far back as mid of March. We've been having that price reject that area always once price comes into that area, and that has happened this month. And we want to be using that pattern as a guide going into the new trading day as we await the New York session to commence in the next 2 or 3 hours. So we have our stop loss around here, and our take profit still remain right at that supply zone we identified yesterday at around 112.5 area. So this is what we'll be looking at for today, and let's see how price is going to react. So that is that on the UK oil. I just hope Kano's around to be with us on this one. Okay, so that's that on UK oil. Let's move forward. Um, Euro USD was bullish, was bearish yesterday. And remember, I said something about taking an opportunity on this one. That there are two ways we want to take advantage of this one. I actually did not take advantage of this trade yesterday anyway. And one thing I said is that we have this bearish trend line. If you look at my video yesterday, we had this bearish trend line, and I said, considering long-term bearish momentum, you want to sell, and that this channel we have here is more like a bearish rectangle, where and I drew this bullish trend line where I was looking at, okay, fine, if we do have a breakdown retest of this key level of this trend line, then we might be looking forward to a trend continuation to the downside. And fortunately for those who took this trade, we had the breakdown, we had the retest of that level, then it would have been appropriate that we take the trade right at 10.5200 or 10.5250, that area, and you'll probably be in around 100 pips in profit now. However, there's still another chance to take advantage of this trade. We still wait for this impulse leg to culminate. We're still waiting for it to culminate. We want to see how far it's going to go. Then after which we are going to be looking for a retracement phase, where we'll be looking for a retracement into our golden zone area, where we will be taking advantage of a trend continuation to the downside. So the retest into the golden zone area might even share a confluence with this bearish trend line, or this or probably this demand zone that we found here. We can see that we also witnessed a breakdown of that demand zone, hereby giving us a sign that that demand zone is no longer strong enough to hold price action. As you can see, the demand zone has been holding price for some time, and unfortunately for the buyers, it wasn't able to hold at this point. So we saw an outright breakdown, which is more of a strong signal that the sellers are actually taking over this market. So we might be looking for a retest of this demand zone in the future and look for structures that support a trend continuation to the downside. So that is that on the Euro USD. So if I were you, I would not be planning to buy the euro at this point in time. Rather, you look for opportunities to sell. However, if you are a counter trend trader, you might want to if you see structure that supports a trend continuation, you might want to take a buy opportunity where you'll be looking at this demand zone as your take profit target. But for me, it's quite risky anyway to anyway, and it's just risky. So I think it's most appropriate to look for, be patient enough, look for price to come back into structure, and then take advantage of any signal that supports the trend continuation to the downside. So that's that on Euro USD. We talked about how many pairs so far. We talked 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So now, the one I want to talk about next is on the JPY pairs. And for me, the Japanese yen has been showing signs of strength in the last couple of hours. If you were following the yen chart, it has been quite bullish for the yen, and we don't know if that's going to be sustainable for some time. So let's look at the yen pairs. We're going to be looking at CHF. If time permits us, we're going to be looking at CHF JPY, Euro JPY, GBP JPY, AUD JPY, USD JPY. So let's jump right in and quickly see what is happening on the CHF JPY. In the beginning of the week, if you remember vividly, I shared an analysis on CHF JPY, where when we looked at what was happening on the daily time frame, I said we have been bullish on the daily time frame for quite a while now, and this bullish momentum appears not to have any sign of slowing down at this point in time. And one thing I said was that we had this demand zone right at within the month of February, which held price for quite some time before we saw that significant move, which is now going to be the impulse leg we are going to be working with at this point in time. So that impulse move happened, which we started at the beginning of March, and what we are seeing right now appears to be the retracement of that impulse leg. And if I ask you, what does that mean? That means that we want to be looking for a buy opportunity right within the golden zone area of the impulse leg. And what is our golden zone area? Our golden zone area is between the 50% and 78.6% retracement of the previous impulse leg. And remember, I said something like this. I said we already have a reversal pattern here forming, like in the form of a double top structure, where we'll be looking for a breakdown as a retest as a confirmation that price will be going to the downside, where we'll be looking for an opportunity to buy this pair right within the golden zone area, and then we'll be looking for a reversal pattern around this area to join the trend continuation to the upside. And I said something. I said, for me, I'm a long-term trader. I prefer to actually take long-term opportunities, and for that I just had to be patient on the yen pair, on this pair, to see price come into that area I'm looking forward to, and then look for patterns that will support a trend continuation to the upside. And probably this might take like a week or 2 weeks for this to actually form. So if we run that retracement tool right through that impulse leg here, we can see that we are right within that. Oh, sorry. Oh, I didn't get that very well. I think there's a demand zone now. So we are right within that buy opportunity zone. So we're still waiting for structures to line up for us to take that bullish momentum to the upside. So that is that on the CHF JPY for me. And let's see how price reacts from this the next couple of days. So if you are the one that took that sell opportunity, good for you. I think you will have been in how many pips in profit now? If you are taking the rejection of this area, will have been around 200 pips, over 200 pips, and that's good money for whosoever have taken that opportunity on the CHF JPY. So moving on to Euro JPY too as well. The same scenario sort of we have in the Euro JPY. Remember, I was actually thinking a bullish momentum could be coming in when price spend quite a time above that demand zone here. We were expecting, I think I had stop loss here once, and we saw that price rejected that trend line and crashed through the demand zone. rejected it with the confirmation that we have a trend continuation to the downside. So for me, uh, when I'm a trend trader, so when I see a bullish trend I want to buy, when I see a bearish trend I want to look for selling opportunities on that one. So for this one now, we already have this bearish move, and if you are taking advantage of that bearish move, that's a counter trend, but that's over 200 pips thereabout for you if you are taking it. But if we go and see what's happening on the larger perspective on this one, we will see that our potential TP target if you are selling is right at the within this area, which is definitely the golden zone of the previous impulse leg identified around here. So with that impulse leg, if we take our retracement tool right from the bottom of the impulse leg and run it through the impulse leg right to the top, we will see that our golden zone falls right between 50 to 78.6% retracement of that impulse leg. So what does this simply mean here is this: if you are still not in a bearish trend, personally I'm not taking this trend because it doesn't support my view. I If you are not yet in this trade, this is an area where you can be looking forward to taking advantage, because we have structures lining around this place, and this place could be the new key level, and that's around the 134.500 area. So what we want to be looking out for at this point is we want to be looking out for a breakdown of this trend line, a retest into that trend line. Then we look for structures that support a trend continuation to the downside in the form of a signal, and then a confirmation to the downside right into this buy opportunity zone. So if you're a long-term trader like me, then at this point we will be waiting for price to line up in such a way that it will support a bullish momentum right within this buy opportunity zone area, where we look for signals in the form of a breakout of structure, retest to structure for confirmation to a trend continuation to the upside. So these are what I'm looking forward to on the Euro JPY in a long term perspective on this one. So however, that being said, if we consider the long-term scenario on this pair, on this Euro JPY as well, definitely it is possible that we might be having a reversal pattern right on this 134.500 area. Yes, it's very possible, and the reversal pattern can happen like this. Look, if we continue to see multiple rejection of this area, then we will be looking for opportunity where price comes into this level, probably for aligns with this aligns with this. Let me see what that is again. With this trend line that we saw here, probably align with it. In fact, this bearish move is going to take a long time. Let's see what happens. We might take advantage of this bearish move if we have structures that support bearish momentum. We have bearish trend line on probably 1 hour 2 hours time frame, then we can take advantage of the bearish move. So we might be looking forward to something like that in the nearest future, that is a rejection from this area up, then price finally comes down before they move to the upside from that area. So this is my scenario, this is my expectation on Euro JPY going into the New York session, or probably into next week as well. So that's that on Euro JPY. Then if we go to GBP JPY as well, the same scenario we have here on GBP JPY too. Right here on the daily time frame, we've been bullish, and we had a demand zone in May. I think I explained all this on Monday, I guess. So we had the demand zone in May, and we had this bullish momentum that finally happened in March. And working with that bullish momentum, we will assume that price is going through a retracement phase at this point, where we are going to looking for a reversal pattern within this buy opportunity zone that will send price going to the upside. So it's more or less the same scenario we are having here on all the Japanese pairs. And if we look closely into that, the key level that we identified at 160.1, we saw that price broke down that key level, which also that demand zone area, And then to take advantage of that sell opportunity, you might probably have been looking forward to a retest of that area to take advantage of that sell opportunity. Did you take it? That I don't know. But for me, we will be waiting for price to do that formation within our buy opportunity zone to send for opportunities for an uptrend continuation. That's that on GBP Then on AUD what are we looking out for on AUD Almost the same setup we have here on AUD On the daily time frame, the first thing you will observe is that we had that bullish move, which will now become our impulse leg. So definitely after every impulse leg, price action will do a retracement into the golden zone area, where we will be looking looking forward to a retracement into the golden zone area. Where's our golden zone area at this point? So if we spool out our Fibonacci retracement tool and run it through that impulse leg, we will have a retracement into this golden zone area, which is right within the 86. Oh, sorry, not that. I wanted to use this. Okay, so right within the 86. Then we can name this buy opportunity for clarity's sake, so that we can actually refer to this setup in the future. So we have something like this before our highs. So considering long-term bullish momentum on this one, definitely we want to be looking for ways to buy the Aussie against the yen. So we're waiting for structures to line up for us within this buy opportunity zone in the form of whatever structure that supports a trend continuation to the upside. So breakout of structure will give you a signal, retest, a confirmation, a trend to the upside. So that's that on AUD. Anything about Bitcoin? Yeah, we'll look at Bitcoin. Let's see what happens after the last analysis here. Okay, USD JPY now. Same thing is happening on USD JPY. The long-term bullish momentum appears to have been exhausted as we see price finally breaks down of that trend line, of that bullish trend line, and I think I hit stop loss once, yeah. Yeah, yes, I showed you here yesterday. I hit stop loss around this area, so I didn't bother entering anymore when I saw the breakdown and I saw something that looks like a retest. Then I saw this sharp candle. Then I knew things have changed. So on the USD JPY, we will be looking forward to the same scenario, but we don't know where the retracement will go into, because this one has been a very strong one. So we don't know if this is the impulse leg price action is going to take, or probably. So for this one, USDJPY, let's just hold on this one. I'm taking no trade on this one. The only situation where a trade can be taken on this one is that counter trend opportunity, and that counter trend opportunity appears to be more reasonable at this point, considering the breakdown of this. Sorry, let me pull out this key level. I want to bring it out a little bit so that we can use it to guide our thought process into the new day. So we already have a breakdown of this key level. Then we want to be looking for a retest into this key level at one point in time, looking for structure that supports a trend continuation to the downside. So if I were you, this is a good one to take. Look for that. Possibly let me put it on my top list so that I'll look at it later on. And so that's what we'll be looking out for on this one. And yes, we also have a level around here, which is also the neckline of the reversal pattern we saw earlier. So price can do a rejection of this level, or probably move into this area and do a rejection, then price goes downside. So you want to be ready for the USD JPY. So Bitcoin, let's look at Bitcoin together. I think that will be our last the last pair we'll be looking at for today. So Nisar Khan, I will look at Bitcoin and let's see what we have on Bitcoin. Despite the fact that Bitcoin has been bearish for a while now, everyone is still waiting for that bullish momentum on the Bitcoin. So hold on a second, please. Hold on a second. Okay. So for the Bitcoin, this is what we have here. Um, well, we had a demand zone that has been holding for since the beginning of the month, since the beginning of the year, and that demand zone was fully broken sometime earlier this month around this area. Then definitely, that is a signal that we are going bearish on this one. However, we'll still need more confirmations in the form of a retest of that trend line, this demand zone, this trend line, and this key level at this point to take advantage of probably a trend continuation to the downside. So if we bring that into consideration, we have our key level right at this area. That's let's put that 37,500. So we have it right at that 7,500. That's $37,500. So allow me to label this for clarity's sake. And then we have it right, let's have it right below. So we have our key level at 7,500, and is price going to come up to that area? We don't know yet. But the look of things, price is really crashing very fast. And let's see what we can do on a lower time frame. Let's go to the lower time frame. Let's see what's happening on the lower time frame. So if we go to more like the 30 minutes time frame, for instance, then we can see, we can look out for structures that we can play around with. So allow me to delete this, and then let's look at, okay, let's go to 1 hour instead. So okay, on the 1 hour time frame, we have something like this. We can actually draw a trend line right above this, connecting the lower highs. So the first one we have is around here. That's the first one we have. And then the second one we have will start from around here into, I think, somewhere around here, I guess. So let's make this one a little bit lighter since it's not the major trend line. So let's have something like this. So then after that, we want to look for a key level within this 1 hour time frame that we can work with to join a trend continuation to the downside, since will definitely want to be selling the so we will be having somewhere around 30,000. I think that's more like a psychological level right now at this point in time. Below 30,000 has been what people have been looking for. So we have below 30,000 around that area. So definitely we want to be looking for price to come into that key level and that trend line, where we will be looking for opportunities in the form of a reversal pattern, then probably a breakout of structure where we see a breakdown of that key level and then a retest into that structure. Then we want to take in the confirmation of a trend continuation to the downside. So this is my perspective on the BTC USD. This is what we want to be looking for on the BTC USD, and this area right above that this area will now be probably our new supply zone going forward. So if you allow me, supply zone, so we have a supply zone here. So we have the text right in between it in the center. So we have our supply zone right here. So, and why is that? We have seen multiple rejection of that area since the beginning of the trading week. We've seen multiple rejection of that area, and at the same time, that area also shares a confluence with the bearish trend line that we drew earlier on the 1 hour time frame. And we will be looking for structures to come into that, price to come into this area, then give us sign that price is going to the downside, or probably price might not even go as far as that, but into this key level or this trend line, then we see price crashing to the downside from that area. So definitely if that happens, then we want to be looking at take profit target of the extension of this impulse leg here. So with that extension, so we'll be having something like this, sorry, we will be having something like this from this area to the downside, or probably from here to the downside. Or so, and if we bring out our Fibonacci extension tool for more clarity's sake, then we could be having something like this, where our take profit target falls around this area, that's 22,600. Bitcoin appears to be real crashing right now, but I'm very sure that I'm of the opinion that we will be having a bullish momentum, but we don't know when that is going to happen. We don't know where it's going to crash into before that bullish momentum begins. So potential profit target around that area, that's if price action does as expected. So this is my view on Bitcoin, and I hope I made some sense, and I hope I made myself very very clear to your request. Well, we don't know if it's going to go that down. Sure, definitely, we don't know. We are just doing this is a technical analysis. We're analyzing based on the structure we have on the chart. So we don't know where price is going to get down to, but that is where the profit target at this point in time is. And as soon price is moving in our direction, definitely you want to move your stop loss with you to ride along with your with your price as it moves in the direction that we expect it to go into. Oh, you are welcome, Nisar Khan. You are really welcome. So let's see how price is. For me personally, on the Bitcoin, I think that a bullish momentum is coming. It's coming definitely, because now that price is cheap, the tendency for people to come and buy the Bitcoin is quite high, because when things are cheaper, people definitely want to come and buy something when it's very very cheap. So that's what my view is on Bitcoin. So on the long term anyway, if we look at it closely on the long term, let me see what's happening on the weekly time frame. For instance, on the weekly time frame, if you look at it closely, we had an impulse leg from this area. We had an impulse leg on it, and definitely we all understand that after every impulse leg there is always a retracement phase. And if you look at what happened since that impulse leg started in September last year, we saw something like a double top. That means price hit a peak at that particular point in time, and then right now we are right at this area, which is also the neckline of that reversal pattern that we identified on the weekly time frame. Mind you, this is more of a technical analysis, not fundamental whatsoever. I'm using technical analysis. That is, we're only looking at what is happening on the chart to determine where price is going to go to. So definitely we want to be looking at a retracement into our golden zone area, which is right in between 50 and 70.6% retracement of that last impulse leg. And if you look closely into what is that is, it definitely shows us that very very soon we might be having that bullish momentum. And if you look at the golden zone area, price has already exhausted the length of that golden zone area around this point. So the next buy opportunity is definitely going to be around this point. Let me label this. So the next buy opportunity is going to be around this area, but we really need to be very very patient, as we need to wait for structures that will support a bullish momentum in the form of whatever reversal pattern you can think of, or a trend continuation pattern that you can think of that will send price going to the upside. So that is that on the Bitcoin, and let's see what happens as time goes by. All right. So I think on this note, we should call it a day. Or is there any question whatsoever, or any clarification you might need? Okay. So thank you for staying tuned, and I wish you uh, good luck today, and a better trading day. Thank you, and bye.